Don't worry, folks. Got the victory chain. It's all good. I ain't forgetting this thing the rest of the season. I'm giving you the Austin hockey guarantee. And also in before I do eventually somehow forget this thing. Remember, though, every time I forget that victory chain, 5 gifted memberships. The next 5 I will be giving away on Tuesday during the Tampa game because I will be doing a live stream during the Tampa game. However, we have lots to talk about in the Oilers 4-2 Hockey Night in Canada victory over the St. Louis Blues. Wasn't a bad game, wasn't a great game. I thought the third period, just my raw thoughts here before we get into the actual discussion and, with everything that went on. The third period was not clean. The Oilers did not play a clean third period. Considering what the officials were letting go and then what they eventually called, allowed St. Louis to kind of claw back in this one. But the Oilers, they managed to hang on. Troy Stecher with an absolute snipe of a goal. Just beautiful. He couldn't have scored a better goal in a beer league, in my opinion. I'm kidding. No disrespect to Jordan Binnington. I hope he wins the championship with Team Canada. I don't even know what the prize is called at the Four Nations. Does anyone actually know what that it's called? It's not like a gold medal. I don't even know the name of the championship. But if someone knows what the name of it is, please let me know in the comments. The Oilers do pull off the 4-2 win. And, of course, we all knew Dylan Holloway was going to score against his former team, and he did in the third period. He was the one that cut the lead to 2. And then Jake Neighbours ended up scoring after the 5-on-3 had expired for the Blues to make it 3-2. But then Troy Stecher with an absolute snipe job on Jordan Binnington. He sealed the deal. The Oilers were able to lock things down. And Stuart Skinner tonight. Stuart Skinner put up another .935 save percentage. So for Stuart Skinner, he is way trending up right now. In 5 of his last 6 starts, he's put up a .930 save percentage or better. So if you're an Oilers fan, that's exactly what we need from your goaltender on a night where maybe the Oilers didn't have their A game. They did have some offense. They had a little bit of depth tonight. We had Zach Hyman score. We had McDavid. And, of course, we had Cory Perry. He was the one that opened the scoring. Beautiful tip-in goal off a shot pass by Darnell Nurse. And I talked about Darnell Nurse during the pregame report. I talked about how he's arguably been Edmonton's best defenseman for over a month. Since the beginning of November, he leads all D-men on the team in expected goals for percentage, and his overall play 5-on-5 has been phenomenal. His play on the penalty kill has allowed Edmonton to climb up the penalty kills rankings. Going into tonight, they had killed 22 of their last 23 or 23 of their last 24. I can't remember what the number was. Yes, they did give up a power play goal tonight. Tough to, kill a 5-on-3. And it was kind of a fluky goal. Went off of Neighbours' body and then under Stuart Skinner's 5-hole. So bit of a lucky one for the Blues. Of course, the penalty kill for Edmonton still looked strong. They were getting good blocks in front, and I really liked Evan Bouchard on the penalty kill when Neighbours, when he started whacking at Stuart Skinner after the whistle. Evan Bouchard went in there and let him know, you can't do that to my goaltender. Evan Bouchard's big. Bouchard's like 6'2", 6'3". Like, he's a big body. I wish he would utilize it a little bit more when it comes to the physical side of the game. But as long as he's utilizing it in some capacity, I don't care how he does it. The Oilers tonight, they get a win. They are 15-10-2 now on the season, and they have won 9 of their last 13. They are 9-3-1 in those 13 games. I think for sure the Oilers have completely turned the corner. Now it's just about finding consistency when it comes to goal scoring and when it comes to goaltending. It is starting to fall in place. Yes, they had that 1-0 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. They lost 3-0 to Montreal in Montreal, the game that I went to, which is very unfortunate that I happened to see them get shut out in Montreal. But overall, the last 13 games, the Oilers have played very well, and this is a real good sign. Everything's kind of falling in place here, and you can tell that the team is getting back to where they were last year when they were at their best. They were getting timely saves, they were getting timely goal scoring, and defensively, they were very stingy, especially in the neutral zone. St. Louis, they're a bit more of a physical team than Edmonton usually goes up against. A lot of teams aren't very physical this season, and a lot of games that the Oilers are involved in at the end of the game, I always point to the hitting stats. It's usually like 12-8 or 18-14, like very low hitting games between two teams. Now tonight, it's not like St. Louis was overly physical, but they have big bodies, and Jim Montgomery, his defensive style is physical. He tries to wear you down, and they try to make your life miserable, especially when you're on the attack. For the Oilers, every time they got into the blue zone, they were cycling, they were getting hit hard into the boards, they were getting cross-checked, they were getting slashed, they were getting whacked, and that's how the Blues play, and that's how Jim Montgomery teams play. I watched a lot of it. when Jim Montgomery was coach of the Boston Bruins. Of course, for those of you who've been around the channel as long as I've had the channel, you'll know that I am a very big Bruins fan as well. They are my number 2 team. And watching Jim Montgomery's Bruins teams, they asserted their physical side a lot. And he is turning the St. Louis Blues. You can see pieces of it. It's not quite the same as how Boston played. They don't have the same personnel. They have a bit more skill, in my opinion, the Blues do, and a bit more finesse. But the pieces are there for St. Louis. So if you're a Blues fan, of course, I think you're going to fall in love with Jim Montgomery. I think you're going to fall in love with the style that he'll have that team playing. When they're on their game, they are very, very hard to play against. When they're not on their game, they're going to be frustrating. You're going to want to rip your hair out. That happened with the Bruins a lot too. It seemed like when Montgomery was able to push the right buttons, the team was unbeatable. So just like Bruce Cassidy as well. Bruce Cassidy in Boston, he seemed to push the right buttons more often than not. However, on nights where the team didn't have it, they look awful. For the Edmonton Oilers, though, it's good to see them get over that, maybe get over some interesting or questionable officiating. I'm not going to totally call out the officiating because both teams got away with so much nonsense in this game. I just think it is funny that, in a 3-1 game, that's when they decide to give a team a 5-on-3. I just think it's interesting. Not saying anything, not calling anything out. But like I mentioned, we'll quickly go through the goal scoring, the timestamps of each goal, and then I'll wrap up my general thoughts as well. There will be no day after discussion tomorrow. Just with my work schedule, I'm just not able to get one out. However, after the game on Tuesday against Tampa, which I will be live streaming, on Wednesday, I will have a day after, and they will be consistent after that game against Tampa Bay. I am going to have day after discussions after every game moving forward. I had a lot going on. I had that trip to Montreal, and then I got sick, and then my work hours got extended. So I just haven't been able to find room in my schedule to get those day afters out. But I am promising you they are coming back. I know so many of you that watch the channel absolutely love the day after discussions, and I love doing them. I love those long form 25 to 35, sometimes 40-minute discussions, all things Oilers and hockey in general. And there's a lot of other things that have been going on since my last day after discussion that I do want to talk about, including other things going on in the hockey world, including the Four Nations Cup, and of course your Edmonton Oilers that are really starting to turn things around. And this is a tough month for Edmonton. They have some tough matchups this month. If they are able to finish the month in a good spot in the Pacific, I'd like to see them in 3rd place in the Pacific by Christmas, maybe even 2nd. I think that would be a real good spot to go into the Christmas break for. They do have a pretty extended Christmas break during that Christmas week, which is really good. Players will get even more rest. Zach Hyman with another goal tonight, which is great to see. He was injured for a little bit. He's come back, and he has been an absolute menace. And I do love that Cory Perry also has 5 goals this year. For Cory Perry, I can't remember if I mentioned in the pregame report, but Cory Perry the other night, him and Derek Ryan, they led the team in expected goals for percentage. It was like 93% at 5-on-5. And Cory Perry all season long, he's generated a lot of possession, a lot of strong possession metrics for the Edmonton Oilers. He seems to be on the ice for a lot of scoring chances for and very little against. And that's why you see him get a lot of ice time with the big guns. He gets ice time with Draisaitl. He gets ice time with McDavid periodically. And, in that Vegas game when the net was pulled, they had Cory Perry out there as a net front presence. Of course, a lot of that is placeholder for Zach Hyman, but Cory Perry has deserved it. Cory Perry, he may not have the foot speed anymore, but he has the brain speed. He understands how to utilize his speed because it is very, very slow. He is a very slow player at his age now. He was never a fast player, but now that he's 39, he just does not have the foot speed. If he was not as smart as he is at hockey, he would not be in the NHL. And I'm really happy that the team has him because he's versatile. You can use him in a lot of different situations. You can use him as a net front presence on the power play if you needed to. Second unit, obviously. First unit if there's an injury like there was to Zach Hyman. But even 5-on-5, the fact that he can get regular shifts with players like McDavid and Draisaitl, and he doesn't look out of place. He's able to get into scoring positions. He's able to get into spots where he can be an absolute menace. And when the Oilers are on offense, when they're forechecking, he's been great. His stick handling's great. He can stick handle inside of a phone booth. Cory Perry has been phenomenal. I couldn't be happier with his play. And considering his age, where he's at in his career, a lot of us, I think, thought he may have retired after that cup run last last June. I'm really happy that the Oilers decided to keep him. I was pretty skeptical at first, but I think he's proved me wrong, and that makes me very happy. Darnell Nurse, of course, rewarded with another assist. I've talked, no, I wouldn't say at length, but I have mentioned how good he's played. Probably best defenseman on the team over the last month and a little bit. Leon Draisaitl had 2 assists tonight. I thought he was going to have a third point, but the giveaway by St. Louis, Draisaitl did not touch the puck on McDavid's goal. Zach Hyman with a power play goal, assisted by McDavid, of course. And then for St. Louis, Dylan Holloway with his 9th of the season. Dylan Holloway has been on absolute fire for the Blues. Was curious that he was not on the power play for St. Louis. Blues fans, if you're tuning in, do you think Dylan Holloway should be on that top power play unit with the Blues? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And then, like I mentioned, Jeff Skinner, he got another assist tonight for the Oilers. That is his 6th assist of the season. And Jeff Skinner, he had another glorious opportunity late in the third as well. He was hooked and slashed like crazy. He cut in front. He had Binnington completely out of position, and all Jeff Skinner had to do was hit the net, but he was at a bad angle, unable to capitalize. For the Oilers, though, they improved to 15-10-2 on the year. They are at 32 points, 9-3-1 in the last 13. Stuart Skinner, he's trending upward. He's played great in 5 of his last 6 starts. This is really good to see. Real positive. A lot of positives in this game. Like I mentioned, the third period, not pretty. Would have liked to see a bit more discipline. Would like to see the team have that killer instinct just a little bit more. I'd like to see them put their foot on the pedal, or if you want to talk about putting their foot on the neck maybe of your opponent, go for the kill shot and don't let teams back into these games. The Oilers, they're at their best when they don't even let a team anywhere near them when they have a lead. And this was only the 3rd time too that the Oilers have been outshot in a game. So of course you're going to have those games where you do get outshot. Maybe you don't completely deserve the win in the end, but you need your goaltending to bail you out. Sometimes Stuart Skinner, he made some big saves, and that's a real good sign. I felt the first period, Stuart Skinner, huge saves. Third period, he had to also be sharp. The shots in the third period were 14-7 in favor of the Blues. So real good signs here. Lots to talk about. Hopefully by next Wednesday for that day after against Tampa. Just in general with this team, I could just ramble on for another 10 minutes if I wanted to, but I'm not going to keep you all. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you enjoyed the game tonight, and I hope you enjoyed this post-game fan reaction. If you did, make sure to smash the like button, and if you really liked it, make sure to hit subscribe as we continue to grow an amazing hockey community here on YouTube. You are all amazing. I'm humbled every single day. Thank you all so much for tuning in all the time and commenting and giving me feedback. It means the world. I read every single comment. I try and respond to as many comments as I can if there's questions. So please, if you have any questions that you would like to ask me before my next day after discussion, I will address fan questions as well. So thank you all so much. We'll see you soon, Oil Country. Make sure you tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid, fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers.